What's up, guys? Hello. Yes, I'm back again. The one and only African superstar, award-winning artist here, representing from Accra, Ghana. I have a serious topic tonight. Yes. I first want to say big shout outs to the African superstar family. Those of you guys supporting the platform as we continue to grow, you are most welcome. Make sure you subscribe. If you're not subscribed, if you like these kind of conversations, if you like my content. Second of all, I have a brand new song that's spinning everywhere here in Ghana called Boom Boom. Make sure you add it to your playlist. It's on all the streaming sites. The audio is also here on YouTube, and you can purchase it exclusively at bandcamp.com. And last but not least, I have an upcoming tour here in Ghana, October 19th through the 26th. You can come and spend 7 days with me and my tour partner, Mr. Taye Uhuru, as we tour you around Ghana. If you're interested in that, please make sure that you go to www.tayeUhuru.com. Okay, big shout out to the African superstar family. I'm going to wait until we get somebody in the chat room before I begin this topic. That's the new on code movement. So when you come to my channel, my live streams, they are interactive. Please make sure you join us in the chat room. The conversation doesn't start until I know you guys are there. So you can say hello. You can make sure you can let me know where you're viewing from. If you can hear me, if you can't hear me, please let me know. Big shout out to the African superstar family. Tonight's topic is American African or Black American. The line of demarcation. Yes, family, I will be waiting for you. Please get in the chat room. Yes, I will be waiting for you. Please get in the chat room. I'll take this opportunity to give you a snippet of my latest track, Boom Boom, everywhere, streaming everywhere here on the channel. Please add it to your playlist.
Boom Boom is a crazy banger. Oh my God. I hope you have that.
One and only
the African superstar.
African superstar on the track.
You gotta wanna play it on repeat. Just listen.
International award winning. Yes.
Trust me. When it comes to lyrics,
In the
we don't
midnight
play.
hour, when I get next to you, butterflies in my tummy, and my heart goes boom, boom. In the midnight hour, when I get next to you, feels so exciting, and my heart goes boom, boom. There's nobody like you, you're my one and only. Since the day that we met, I remember, you've been driving me crazy. I love your brown eyes and your chocolate skin. Not ashamed to say it over and over again.
In the midnight hour, when your pretty eyes meet mine, your body is a mesmerite. You will go down on your knees, say a little prayer for me.
Big shout out to the African superstar family, boy. I tell you, Boom Boom gets me going every time. Yes. Shout out to the family. Yes, thank you. We have some folks in the chat room, so I'm going to get started with this topic. Janelle Richardson is the first one there, and Susan Gay, I see you there. Big shout out to the African superstar family. Susan, I see you representing Philly in Texas. Yes. And Janelle is letting you know, please be on code. Huh? You should know what the code is by now. If you've been here more than once, do the needful. All right. And Janelle also brought up our mission statement, SMP, strategy, maturity, and patience. Yes, Susan, I'm happy to see you. Yes, I'm very fine. Thank you. And I hope you are as well. I'm happy you're here for tonight's live. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a difficult topic. I even deliberated about doing this, but it's a very important conversation. So tonight's topic is American African or Black American, the line of demarcation. It's safe to say that all members of the diaspora are not the same. Now, this is actually news to members, continental Africans, because for continental Africans, a lot of them have not had interactions with our people, and they don't understand a lot of the dynamics of Black Americans and things like that. So a lot of them are now having their first encounters and or such and such. And I think that it's very important for members of the diaspora that are interested in the continent, traveling here, um, open-minded when it comes to embracing their heritage and all of that stuff. We really have to draw the line of demarcation as to who we are. When I posed the question of the title, okay, if you know anything about grammar, okay, if you know anything about sentence structure, all right, you have nouns and you have adjectives, all right. So I have coined a new phrase. I've never actually heard people really say it, but I say it, which is American African. That means that the noun in that scenario is African. That means that the adjective is American, okay, or Canadian or British. So you actually see yourself as an African in a different location. Okay, now when you break down Black American, it means that American is the noun and Black is the adjective to that. Now, we can see with members of the diaspora, there are very Afrocentric members of the diaspora. I guess I could be considered one of those who really embraces my connections to the motherland, loves everything Black, loves everything African, definitely integrating here on the continent, definitely incorporating Ghanaian culture, life, society, and things like that into my life and making a future here. And then you also have Black people that are American. I mean, if you close your eyes and you had a conversation with these individuals, you might think that you were actually talking to a white male or a white female. Okay. And in that respect, they are American culturally. They are surfacely melanated. They are Black people that, in other words, we would call them Oreos. We would call them coconuts. We would call them lost and in denial. We see a lot of calamity with the Western diaspora in terms of identifying themselves. And that is why I think it's very important now that we draw the line in the sand and make it very evident that all diasporans are not the same. Because what's happening, what I'm seeing here, especially on social media, I have a clip for you guys that I'm going to show at the 10-minute marker. Thank you so much, Miss Susan. I see you there. You kicking off this live stream, right, baby? Hello. Thank you so much for this first super chat of the conversation. I think that it's very important that we identify which side of the coin we're on, because what I'm seeing here on social media is you see people like myself who are positive, who are intellectual, who are informed, who are traveled, who are basically authorities on what they talk about, lives a very, low drama, low maintenance kind of lifestyle. You see, we don't really get access to the mainstream audiences. We don't go viral. We don't get all that, electric attention. Who gets the electric attention would be, I would say, the Black Americans. A lot of them will say outlandish things, insensitive things, divisive things, uninformed things. And the clip that I'm going to show you is a prime example. Okay, and this person is a very controversial, what's the right word? I need to find the right word to describe this person. Triggering. This person is a very triggering person. I first came across them yesterday on TikTok, and then I had to do a little bit of, going through their social media to kind of get a bigger scope of what I was seeing. And actually, the content I was seeing was actually triggering me. It was making me feel anxious. It was making me feel uncomfortable. And then again, the irony about this is the Black Americans, a lot of them, they don't have interest on the continent. They're not traveling here. But because they're so particularly vocal, they are going to be the ones that impact those of us that have interest here on the continent. Because since people like myself aren't getting the spotlight, unfortunately, when continentals look out there and they see representatives of the diaspora, representatives of Black Americans, they're seeing this. Okay, they're getting this impression about us. Huh? So I want to share with you guys this. And this is why I'm saying that it's very important that you start identifying which side of the coin you're on. Because all diasporans are not the same. All Black Americans are not the same. All Black British are not the same. Those that are going to make our transition very challenging, we must speak to those things. We must condemn those things, and we must disassociate ourselves from those things. Okay? So this is the clip that I saw that was very disturbing to me. Hey. Okay, just bear with me. It's uploading, guys. It's uploading. I'm still here. Shout out to the African Superstar family. Special shout outs to Susan with that first super chat. Yes, guys, please make sure you like the stream and be a part of our conversation. It's time for the American Africans and the Black Americans to make their presence be known. Make their, whichever side of the coin you're on, it's very important that you make that clear. Because these problematic people are going to make our transition much more difficult because of their explosive behavior. And I want to make it clear, I put myself in the American African category. I've known for a long time that I never belonged in the Western world, and I certainly embrace my roots here on the continent. Here's the clip, guys.
Can y'all stop asking us to come to Africa? Underneath all of our videos, whenever we're speaking about something and speaking about what we're going through, here come y'all from Africa, talking about, oh, come back to Africa. This is where you belong. This is your home in Mother Africa. You don't have to deal with that. Come here. We're not leaving what we have built to come over there with y'all. Y'all don't even want to be over there with your Mother Africa. Your mother treats you so bad that you want to leave her house to come over here and freeload in our house. Your Mother Africa loves you so much and takes such good care of you that you have to abandon her to come over here and live off of us. Why in the world would we want to go somewhere where the natives don't even want to be? You don't want to be in your own continent, but you think that we want to be there after we have worked and suffered and struggled to build this great nation? You think we're going to leave and come over there? Nah, it don't work like that. The only reason why y'all want us over there is because you want what we have. You can see how powerful and great we are because you see and you watch us over there, idolizing us, worrying about what we're doing and how we're getting it done. And now you want us to come over there. But where were you while we struggled? After you sold our ancestors to the white man, how come you didn't want us to come over there then? How come your people didn't make a way to come and rescue us? But all of a sudden now, since we have overcome what you have did to us, since we had walked out of the lion's den after you cast us in, now you want us to come over there with you? Have you bumped your heads? Stay out of my comment section and stay away from us. We are not African and we're never coming there. It's Black American power forever.
All right, guys. So that was the very offensive clip that I saw. This individual has a lot of very provocative content, very similar to that, in which they degrade and insult African people. And this is why I'm saying that members of the diaspora and, even members of the African diaspora, it's important that we get the word out that these individuals are not representative of the whole Western diaspora. There are people that have been born and raised, like myself, grown up in the Western world, have never liked it and have gravitated to the continent, love it, love its people, very happy to be here. There are a lot of us, a sizable amount of us. However, the people that are getting the spotlight is like this individual that I showed. When I went to her page, hundreds of thousands of views on her content. And I thought to myself, once again, this is the picture of a Black American to people that don't know us and have never interacted. A lot of things were said in that clip. I'll play it again a little later in the broadcast. And just damaging, damaging to those of us that do not have that perspective. We, again, you need to identify yourself. I think that Black American, the term, it says it all, because like I said, a lot of people coming from that environment, they have ingested so much of that energy. And you can even just see that energy in the way that she communicates. She starts off calm, and by the end of the video, she's shouting, she's filled with rage, she's angry, and she's actually channeling that and diverting that onto African people. And this is very common among our people, especially from the Western world. They are dumping all their frustrations and anger, blaming them for slavery, blaming them for this, blaming them for that. And again, always trying to absolve the real culprits, the people that have created this whole dynamic, just removing them out of the equation and fully, unleashing on a version of themselves. And so I need to denounce this. I don't like being represented by these type of individuals. I don't like being associated with these type of individuals. For God's sake, I just want peace. I've experienced a chaotic, stressful, tumultuous life in the Western world. I found a safe haven where I can come and live in peace and be welcomed and have a good, quiet life. I don't want that to be ruined by people that are uninformed. Now, it's safe to say this individual has never even probably traveled out of the continental U.S., certainly has never been to Africa, and is very misinformed. But again, it's very common for Western people, especially Americans, to be so emotional about things that they really don't know about. Emotion is a weakness sometimes, because you feel so strongly and so passionately about things that you're not informed about. Now, if you're informed and you're passionate about that, that's one thing. But being passionate about things in which you cannot logistically back them up and factually back them up is damaging. And so for those of us that are Pan-African, we're pro-Black, we're pro-Africa, we must be very clear about that. Okay? We must be very vocal about that. We must estrange ourselves from those other individuals. Okay? They are focused on us, because all the juice and energy is here. All the juice and energy is in the Pan-African movement, in the diaspora returning to the continent, the future of Africa. That's where that's where all the energy and excitement is. We know what life is like in the Western world, and we know it's not great. That's just the truth. They know it too. And that's why instead of focusing on the good things that's happening in their environment, they're rather trying to tear down what's going on in Africa. I encourage you guys, the line of demarcation. It's time to start cutting that low hanging fruit. Okay? Because what happens is, you guys know the saying, a few bad apples ruins the whole bunch. If we're not careful, if we don't trim the edges, if we don't, segregate ourselves from that activity, that will end up be defining to us and be problematic to us. As I've talked about here on the channel, some of the behavior of diasporans already on the continent is impacting things for us here. So it's important that we say, no, we are not a part of that. That's not our ideology. This does not represent the whole diaspora. And again, like I said, African migrants, you must also communicate this to your brothers and sisters, because I'm not, in the coming days, they'll probably reach out to you. And again, that video that she made probably went ultra viral, probably got shared a bazillion times and all of that. And so it's getting spread out there, and it's the face of Black Americans, the American Africans and the Black Americans. All of us are getting defined by individuals like this. Okay, so I got to speak out and say, hey, I'm not a part of that. I don't agree with that. I think that the approach that people are taking is very, very problematic and very, very damaging. If you are a Black American and you're very proud of that and you have no interest in the content and so on and so forth, there is no reason for you to come out and start insulting people and being degrading. Do you think in your pea brain about those of us that are here living on the continent? I'm sure you don't. Because the Western world is so individualistic. Of course you don't think about how your actions may impact someone else. Just because you're not interested on the continent doesn't mean other people aren't. And do you not think that your behavior impacts for other people? Duh. And I can only speak for myself, but I mean, I have done so much damage control on this social media for people that are ill-behaved. Ill-behaved, insensitive, emotional, rude, ignorant, untraveled, and the list goes on. Because why? Because, I'm the Alpha, the Omega. I'm an important person. Hello. I have the skill. Someone gave me a lovely compliment the other day, Amina, on the video. She said, Gina, you're a master communicator. It's a gift from the heavens, But I've had to do a lot of damage control for these type of individuals who are potentially going to ruin things for our people. Okay, if you like your situation, that's fine. All right, that's fine. But consider that you are not the only one in the whole wide world. Why do I conduct myself the way that I do here in Ghana? Because I know that there are going to be other members of the diaspora coming here. How would you guys like it if I came here and I ruined everything? And by the time you come here to Ghana, all you have to hear about is what the African superstar did, what she said, her stupid viral video, and all of that. Hello? I'm pretty sure there are some people in some of these various countries that are talking about what these YouTubers did 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago already, because they have made a negative impact and a negative connotation for our people. And just like anything else, usually when you first come, everything's smooth, everything is malleable, everything is good, going okay. But as more and more people do crazy things, then rules and structure and all this stuff has to be set up to accommodate people that don't know how to govern themselves and behave accordingly. American, African, or Black American, which side of the coin are you? You need to determine that for yourself. All right. If you're a Black American person, ADOS, Native American, FBA, just focus on your own people and don't start making things difficult for us on this side of the coin. A lot of you guys will call for unity and talk about, we don't do this for our brother and we don't come together. Wow, you're the ones sowing the division. Wow, you're the ones creating. I just can't see any type of productivity from that video that I showed. What is that supposed to do? But evoke people's emotions. Is it necessary? And again, the people that have created the hostility that many Black Americans feel are not African people. You can try all day to blame them for the transatlantic slave trade, but my friend, the person who you have problems with is the Queen of England, the King of England. Okay, Portugal, Spain, Europe. They are the people that began this whole damn, situation. Okay, it's the police in America that's gunning our people down. It's the systems, it's the unfair judicial system that's locking up our peers. It's the government that doesn't even care or regard us, never paid us reparation, acknowledge our ancestors. This is who your beef should be with, but you don't have no smoke for them. And this kind of ridiculous behavior is continually sabotaging our people. Any opportunity that we want to take to progress, we got to fight internal battles before we even get to the external ones. We can't even move out of the country if we're sick of the drama and go abroad without the chaos of the Western world coming for us overseas. And so, ladies and gentlemen, the line of demarcation, you need to identify the line of demarcation, which side you stand. No flip-flop. All right. And calling out this BS behavior, calling out the sellouts, cutting down the low-hanging fruit. Okay. Speaking to misinformation, false information, ignorance, challenging these narratives, because again, these people that are the most provocative get all of the spotlight. The most ghetto, the most aggressive, the most rude, the most uninformed. Where's 100,000 followers for your African superstar? No. But Cardi B probably got, millions of followers on her YouTube. You see, that negative image of our people is what gets all the spotlight. And we have to start speaking down to it. This is a pro tip. This is what other communities do. Okay? When other communities see representation they don't like, they rein it in. They don't allow that to proceed. No, they will not stand for it. They will boycott. They will shut stuff down. I remember I think it was Ludacris. I think Ludacris said something that was like offensive to the Asian community or something like that. And I remember the Asian community immediately responded and he had to apologize. I can't remember exactly because it was several years ago. I mean, they didn't even let a week go by with that stereotype out there. But that's another problem among our community is we will tolerate, we will patronize, we will allow misrepresentation. I love the continent of Africa, and I'm not going to allow misrepresentation when it comes to diasporans coming here. I'll be damned if you clowns overseas start impacting me here in my home in Ghana because of viral social media videos. And I just sit back and be quiet. No, I'm drawing the line in the sand. I'm not a part of that. And the whole diaspora is not the same. A Black American is not a Black American. A Black British may not be a Black British. Just because we're coming from the same location, there's a whole lot of calamity, especially in the Western world. It's gotten so distorted in America, for instance. Many, many Black people are struggling with their identity. Okay, first of all, some of them, they don't know their gender. All right. A lot of them don't know their origins. An upcoming episode here to the channel is I happened across a really large platform on TikTok a few nights ago, which is a Native American person telling these Black Americans that are claiming to be Native Americans that is a false thing. He's got a whole platform where he denounces it and says, you guys are not going to culturally appropriate our community. And that's what I'm saying. Once again, when falsehoods are coming out, it's up to that community to maintain the standard and say, no. This is not what we do. And for those of us that are interested in making our life on the continent, we must disassociate from the people that are going to try to, they're in our image. People are going to see us, hear the accent, and think, oh, that's a Black American. No. We must denounce. No, we don't agree with that. I'm also from the U.S., and that's not how we roll. We don't want that here on the continent. We want unity here on the continent. We want prospects here on the continent. We want a future here on the continent. All right. We recognize our connections to the continent. We recognize our heritage is a part of, the motherland, and we're interested in maintaining that. We are not a part of those that are confused and having identity crisis. Leave them with their cross to bear. Shout out to the African Superstar family. I'm going to play the video again before I get into the comments, okay? Big shout out to the African Superstar family, guys. If you're enjoying my content, please make sure you hit the like, make sure you subscribe, and you can also do like Susan and send something tangible, okay?
Can y'all stop asking us to come to Africa? Underneath all of our videos, whenever we're speaking about something and speaking about what we're going through, here come y'all from Africa, talking about, oh, come back to Africa. This is where you belong. This is your home in Mother Africa. You don't have to deal with that. Come here. We're not leaving what we have built to come over there with y'all. Y'all don't even want to be over there with your Mother Africa. Your mother treats you so bad that you want to leave her house to come over here and freeload in our house. Your Mother Africa loves you so much and takes such good care of you that you have to abandon her to come over here and live off of us. Why in the world would we want to go somewhere where the natives don't even want to be? You don't want to be in your own continent, but you think that we want to be there after we have worked and suffered and struggled to build this great nation? You think we're going to leave and come over there? Nah, it don't work like that. The only reason why y'all want us over there is because you want what we have. You can see how powerful and great we are because you see and you watch us over there, idolizing us, worrying about what we're doing and how we're getting it done. And now you want us to come over there. But where were you while we struggled? After you sold our ancestors to the white man, how come you didn't want us to come over there then? How come your people didn't make a way to come and rescue us? But all of a sudden now, since we have overcome what you have did to us, since we had walked out of the lion's den after you cast us in, now you want us to come over there with you? Have you bumped your heads? Stay out of my comment section and stay away from us. We are not African and we're never coming there. It's Black American power forever.
All right, guys. So yes, so that is the controversial clip that I found on TikTok. Actually, after yesterday's live stream, I typically scroll on TikTok before I go to bed, and I ran across one of her, not this particular clip, but another clip, which I guess she has since taken down because it was so offensive, it was so rude. I went to her page to kind of look and see what was going on. And I found this clip. And, again, when I looked at the views, I'm like, Continentals aren't seeing the African Superstar. I mean, I am a bit well known, but I'm not a huge viral platform like a lot of these people like Tariq Nasheed and, these type of platforms that have basically rejecting their connection to the motherland. These people go triple, double, quadruple viral. And I just think that, those of us of whom these thoughts and opinions do not reflect, we must be vocal about that. We must combat that misinformation. Because at the end of the day, we're going to be the ones to be impacted. When continental Africans or African governments or whatever start getting the impression of how Black Americans are in reality, because like I said, a lot of, continentals, I mean, this has not been a very popular travel destination for our people. This is a recent phenomenon. So it's not far-fetched to understand that a lot of people here on the continent are just now interacting. And obviously here in Ghana, yes, there's quite a sizable group of the diaspora. So the Ghanaian people are able to gauge and they're having a lot more interactions with us than many other nations. Now, just imagine a Black American is landing in Mozambique or going to Namibia or going to Mali or going to, Somalia, places that are not popular. And Meanwhile, maybe those African people have never interacted with us. These type of negative images are very defining. I know, as someone who has lived abroad since 2017, who consistently has to combat the stereotypes of being a Black American female to people that have never met Black Americans before. It's so draining and it's so ridiculous. And so I want to put my little flag in the sand and say, I'm not like them. Okay, they're not like us. I'm not like them. I'm an American African. Okay, I know where my roots are, and I'm okay with that. And although I was scattered to the U.S. and I grew up in the U.S., water seeks its own level. I am interested in the Pan-African way, so I am denouncing these type of individuals and any connection to them. Okay, and I will always promote African continentals, African migrants to be critical. Okay, be critical and analyze the situation. Yes, those people exist, you know, and it's the sum of so much trauma, you know, perpetual trauma and no recourse and the voice of the unheard, the voice of the hurt and all of that. It's culminating in this way, but nonetheless, like I said, those of us coming to the continent, we're going to have to bear the fallout of these people because we're not being seen. We're not being seen. We're not being heard. We're not the face of the diaspora returning. They are going to become the face of the diaspora in this movement because that's how the world works, unfortunately. So I'm now coming to the comments. Big shout out to the African Superstar family. Take a minute out, like the stream. Which side of the coin are you on? Okay, the line of demarcation must be drawn. It's very important that you distinguish yourself which side you're coming from. Okay, because like I said, her TikTok, for instance, had, you know, tens of thousands of views. This video has been shared. You know, when I looked into the shares, it was thousands. People, you know, this type of media is getting out, perpetuated, and it's representing us. So, you know, we must respond to this in a strategic way. Big shout outs to the family. I see you there, Susan. Thank you so much again for being here. Yes, yes, yes. Janelle's also thanking you for your super chat. Sal says, I am sharing your video, so keep going. You will get the recognition to reach our people with the truth. Well, I don't know. You know, I know for a fact that positive voices are not going to get the accolades of the drama. You know, drama is what sells. Drama is what entices people, you know, intelligent conversations that denounce the popular stereotypes. You know, we are not the headliners. I know that. But I want to make my position very well established as to not be grouped or confused with these type of individuals, again, that are getting a lot of visibility from my former community. All right. Big shout out to the African Superstar family. Please make sure you get the lights up. Get in the chat room. If you're not here, I'm coming through to check out what you guys are saying. Sal says, even some Ghanaians had a live on YouTube minutes ago, and they have realized the truth. They are also planning to come back home. Yes, yes, yes. I think, I definitely know the lady is under duress. I mean, it's very obvious. The anger is emanating off of her. You know, the frustration. And again, you know, because you are in a situation where you're completely like interdependent. When you live in the Western world, your opinion, your feelings, it doesn't matter. It's moot. Nobody cares. And matter of fact, if you try to rock the boat or you try to fight back some kind of ways or you try to advocate on your behalf, you rather often punish. So what better way to unleash those emotions than to channel it to someone who is not responsible for your suffering? You know? And I mean, it's no different than how, unfortunately, some black males unleash on black women. They don't take it out on the white men who are controlling the patriarchy that is, you know, impacting them and restricting them. No, they're unleashing it and taking it on black women. So I don't know why. Well, I mean, I guess I know why people are scared to direct their anger and venom in the right direction. But nonetheless, there are still ways, there are still, you know, intelligent, mature ways to express yourself very well, very strongly, to let your emotions fly without being so offensive, negative, and aggressive. There are still ways, because my goals with my social media is to be productive. So I'm always going to analyze, maybe a pro tip you guys don't know is I actually watch every single video that I publish. Okay, I always go back and I always critique it. I always, read the comments. I'm very interactive because I want to make sure that my messages are being productive. Okay, I want to make sure that whatever I'm doing out here is going to evoke more good than harm. Okay, and I know that I've had to tackle some really difficult topics, and some people may always, people do tend to get defensive when you talk about things that pertain to them. But I always try to be sensitive and gentle because at the end of the day, this is just a learning platform. I just want you guys to be better. I just want you guys to excel. It's not good enough for me that I'm here enjoying Ghana, when I know for a fact there are some of my peers in that environment that they just need to be put on to a potential option. They just need a suggestion. They just need some exposure, and that could potentially change their whole path. There were people that were placed on my path that said things at different times or made suggestions at different times that changed my life. My friend Honesty is the person who suggested I have, a YouTube channel. She's the one. Something that I never thought of, never considered. She was just like, Gina, you're dynamic. You should open up a YouTube channel. So you guys should all thank Honesty and be grateful to Honesty. One of my friends in the UK was the one that suggested, have you ever thought about leaving the US? Have you ever thought about moving here to England? So I know that imparting certain ideas is very, very important, but that's what's important to me. I don't want to be provocative with my content. If anything, I just want to evoke you guys to do something and take strategic action. I can't see from that video that I just showed you what positive impact could that have had, with maybe her feeling a little bit more relieved by expressing herself. But definitely when you publish a video like that, definitely you're going to evoke a lot of response, and not positive response. Okay, big shout out to the African Superstar family. Hello, Stacey. Thanks for joining me again. I'm so lucky, 2 days in a row. Hello. Susan says, I was thinking the same thing. Janelle says, yes, she is so broken. Sel says, who said Africans were not also going through things simultaneously while Black Americans were suffering in the U.S.? How old is any African country past independence compared to U.S.? You see, Sel, this is the thing, which I talked about on a few videos ago, which is, based on the American culture, most Americans, and this is not a racial thing, this is an American thing, they are socialized on America. The broader spectrum as to what was going on in various countries at different times is not their concept. And even when it comes to the transatlantic slave trade, obviously, I believe that the Black Americans suffered the most because of the physical and the very violent nature of the physical slavery that was happening in America. The concept of the fact that the people that were transported had families, you know what I mean, were ripped from their families. People never knew what became of them. That emotional trauma that was happening on this side of the ocean. But there's no concept as to how other people were impacted, how other people suffered. Obviously, slavery happened in the Caribbean. The whole diaspora that was impacted by the transatlantic slave trade suffered, and certainly continental Africans suffered. But naturally, in a very classic American way, it's all about the American suffrage compared to everybody else. And so, and I mean, again, a lot of people that have her perspective, that's how they see it. They don't think about the impacts to anyone else. They only think about the impacts. And so now it's even gotten to the point they're just negating the whole slave trade. They say it just never took place. And I'm just like, okay. Janelle says, always mad at continental Africans, but not mad at those who brought us and treated us so horribly. Of course not. This same kind of individual wouldn't be as adverse with the swirling. They wouldn't be adverse with the emasculation of black males. Those things never evoke that same type of anger the way this diaspora war does. And it's just so beyond me. Big shout out to Stacy. Let's see what Stacy has to say about it. She says, I saw the clip. It's coming from a place of hurt, and multiple things can be true at once. To be emotionally intelligent about this clip, we all need a conversation. Well, definitely she's not welcoming conversation. She's turned off the comments on a lot of her videos. So people are just clipping it and, duetting it and responding, and it's crazy. I mean, it's crazy. And I mean, again, with that type of individual, it will be very difficult to have a diplomatic conversation. I mean, it's hard to have a conversation with those people in general. Let's just call them divestors. It's just so difficult to have that conversation with divestors in general because they immediately get defensive. And I know where the defensiveness comes from. The defensiveness comes from being wrong. I have never, not once, had to raise my voice about my choices to move here to Ghana. I've never had to do, because it's solidified by facts and actions and proof. So the more you stand on those type of concepts, the less you have to debate and negotiate. You don't have to. If you want to say the ocean is blue and somebody wants to come along and tell you that it's green, you don't need to argue with them because it's evident. It's irrefutable. Okay, whatever they could be on drugs, they could be high, they could be blind, they could be visually impaired, who knows, colorblind, but that doesn't change the fact that the ocean is blue, or the sky is blue, or the grass is green, or irrefutable things. The fact that they become so defensive and then resort to insults is because they are wrestling in themselves. With whatever they're coming out with, there's a huge internal battle, which will cause them to deflect, which will cause them to lose their calm, which will cause them to get worked up or emotional or defensive or insulting because they can't stand on their concept. That's why they're even in our spaces. That's why they keep on migrating to Pan-African spaces, because they can't let it rest that we have chosen this path while they're fighting with that battle with themselves. They can't just go to bed with the concept that, hey, I'm going to live my life here in America. I'm happy and I'm cool. It unnerves them that we've chosen another path and that we're having success on that path. Big shout outs. What's up? This is what I was talking about. Cell says, I'm tired of the argument of African sodas. Like, we have descendants on both sides being enslaved and slave traders. So she is also complaining of her African ancestors who sold her people. Big shout outs. What's up? Susan says, if you continue to do what you're doing, you'll keep getting what you're getting. True saying. I'm with you and planning on relocating to the motherland myself. Big shout outs. What's up? Dwight Dorsey, I see you there, brother. Thank you for stopping by. He says, I'm not going to ignore my ancestors. He's a Black Native American. I believe in Black power, Black awareness, and Black love. I'm a Choctaw Indian, Tougaloo, Mississippi. Let's see. What's up? Zoo and Shayna. No, it's not a joke, honey. It's not a joke. And that's why I'm having this conversation, because I just want to make my position known. Okay. If you are a foundational Black American, you're an indigenous Native American, you're whatever, you don't like Africans, whatever, you're a Black American. That's what you're a Black colored American. So be it, whatever. Okay. But I'm an American African. All right. And I'm making my path here on the continent. Please, just be respectful. You know, your thoughts and opinions, your representation of all of us, be it good or bad, it impacts this world. You're not just responsible for yourself. Okay, that's definitely a concept that we have lost in the Western world, because everybody wants to do what everybody wants to do and take no consideration of their neighbor when we do represent each other and when we do impact each other. You know, all this venom and hatred in among our own people is bizarre and crazy. Even if you recognize that, you know, across the diaspora, obviously, people have been mixed with, you know, this and that. People speak different languages. People may look a bit different appearance-wise. Obviously, we're not all the exact same DNA makeup. It goes without saying. But people are in your likeness. And people are experiencing the same thing that you are experiencing. Is there no sensitivity to that? Why are you so mad at other people in your likeness more than the outsiders? Does it even make sense? Why? Why are you turning your venom and hatred and violence and anger on people in your own likeness? Why? When you don't have smoke for people that are blatantly responsible for a lot of your pain and suffering. Why? I am yet to see a Black American speak out so passionately about the Congo, about the slave trade in the Arab world, about genocide, about any of this stuff. But migrating to Africa, that's what fires them up, boy. It's just deplorable. And so, yes, it's not a joke, Zoo and Shayna. There's no joke. There's no joke. You know, that individual has a whole TikTok full of this type of content. Big shout outs to the African Superstar family. In Brown Sugar, I see you. I don't mind African Americans or Black Americans. I still acknowledge my Black African ancestry. Big shout outs. Oh yeah, I mean, I gotta show you guys, because hey guys, this is legit with someone who's never ever met a Black American. This is the first video they're seeing on TikTok. And this person is representing for us. And it's terrible. Easy Acts. I am not a financial advisor. So I can't answer that. I mean, you know, I don't know. I mean, I would say that just in general rule of thumb, as a member of the diaspora, you don't want to leave in a very abrupt and incomplete way. Because you may have to go back at some point or access that, or you may need, you know, you may want to travel back and forth. So I would say that you organize your ducks in a row that if that becomes a reality, you can come. Now, if you are going through litigation, I don't know if that's probably the best move. That would probably only be the best move if you're going to leave and probably never ever come back. Because whatever the fallout from you leaving in the middle of your procedure, it won't impact you if you're not there. But I mean, if you're going through a bankruptcy, you should consult your lawyer about these kind of things. I'm not a legal professional or a financial advisor, so, but, yeah, bro, good luck with that. Okay. I mean, it says these are agents against the exodus as usual. Big shout out to the family. Yeah. Queen, that was my point. That was my point. Like, you start out, you're not even having a debate. You're not talking to anyone. It's not a conversation. It's a monologue. You're calm when you start. And by the end of your, it was about 2 minutes. You're livid. You're shouting. You're angry. Like you could just feel her rage. And, that kind of anger is also not healthy for you, but I think we also need to figure out healthy ways of coping, and for me, removing some of the factors that is inducing the stress in the first place and creating the frustration has been very helpful. I too was, definitely not like this lady, but very, very frustrated with a lot of things in the Western world. But I accepted that this is how it's going to be unless I take strategic action. And for me, changing my environment was the best thing. First of all, getting out of the US was key, so I moved to the UK, but I realized there's still some Western similarities. So when I was in a position, I pivoted to Ghana, after a few years of living in the UK. And that was my strategy. That was what I did. It's been great because ultimately my mental well-being is, I haven't even gotten that angry since I've been here in Ghana. Since I used to get angry, but I don't really get angry. Big shout outs. Natural Moment says most Black Americans don't know what's going on in the Congo or Libya. That's what I'm saying. Because it's an American thing. Americans know, and I'm going to say vaguely, because a lot of them may not even know what's happening in the country. Naturally, the country is large. You know what I mean? And typically, like the news that you get access to, it may just be your state. And maybe just your city. People, for instance, that live in Chicago, there's so much news popping off in Chicago, they're not going to get news from the other cities. But Chicago is just one city in Illinois. Columbus is just one city in Ohio. New York City is just one city in New York. You got Buffalo, you got Rochester, so the exposure is not a global exposure or international or worldly exposure, unfortunately. So they have no idea what's going on, which only magnifies what goes on to them. Because what goes on to them is huge, and, there's no consideration of what's going on around the world impacting other people. A very good point. RN, this is funny. These pretendians. I don't know who came up with that, man, but I love that title. Is perfect. These pretendians are concerned that they are being made to go back to Africa. Let me just tell you guys, going to the continent is voluntary. Again, which is another argument which makes all this venom moot. Because listen, let me just give you a little, tip. If you do see that African nations are reaching out to the diaspora, they're reaching out to the interested diaspora. It's not mandatory. If you're not interested, the message is not for you. Okay, it's just like if I watch a commercial right now and they say, hey, come to Norway for our ski festival. Okay, I ain't going to Norway. I'm not going to a snow festival. You guys know I don't even like cold weather. Okay, I'm not going to get on here and then make a scathing video talking to Norway. How dare you tell me to come to the ski resort? I ain't never coming to the ski resort. I'm here in Ghana. I'm in a tropical, like it's unnecessary. Okay, if you're not interested, just be out of like just turn the channel, move on. Let it be out of your head. Focus on your future in the Western world because that's where you want to be. Why do you keep gravitating to the spaces of Pan-Africans? Why? Because Pan-Africans are explicitly talking to other Pan-Africans. Hello. Okay, when I talk about come and visit Ghana, I'm talking to people that are interested in Ghana. I'm not talking to you people that don't have an interest. So the fact you keep inserting yourselves in our environments is for why? Big shout outs to RN. I see you. What's up, War Drum? I see you there, family. Big shout outs to the African superstar family. Janelle says, many Black Americans have made survival mode and fighting for so little change the norm, and leaving is considered fleeing. Yeah, I've heard that. Easy Acts. Why advise people to move to Ghana when the country is bankrupt and the financial rating has been downgraded for more than 5 straight years? Because first of all, honey, everybody's situation is not the same. Okay. A lot of people coming here to the continent are entrepreneurs. They are looking for various things. And they may not be coming here with the same, aspirations that you have. Obviously, I live here in Ghana and I'm a musician. I've never worked a job here, never looked for a job here. I'm here carving my own path. And I think this is a great environment to do so. Secondly, this is a safe environment. This is a welcoming environment. There's tropical living here. The cost of living is manageable there's just so many elements about Ghana, and I don't advise people to move here. Let me tell you, I advise people to travel and see. Okay. I advise people to come experience it and determine if it's a good fit for them. Because again, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Okay. So I never ever gauge what my lifestyle is going to be like based on the next person. Because I know what I can do. You know what I mean? I know what I can do. I know what I'm capable of. So I'm sorry, but I believe that your perspective is a little misguided as to what I'm here to do and what I talk about. Okay? All right. Big shout outs to the family. Portia Official, what's up, sweetheart? I see you. The false security in the West is crazy. And the other thing is like the Western world is not being transparent with the citizens about its situation. But we do see that the quality of life is depreciating, and we do see that the cost of living is skyrocketing, and we see that the jobs and income is not being accommodated to maintain that. So, there are some cardinal signs, but I would say that coming to the continent is a individual decision, based off your circumstances. I would certainly say if you're the kind of person that needs to come here and you're going to be dependent on a job and, you are not that ambitious, you're kind of the flow kind of person. A lot of people in the US, that's how they are. We've been groomed to be like that, the consumer employee. So, you got your little piece of the pie, you got your little 9 to 5, you make your rent money, you buy a beer on Friday, you're okay. I think that this environment would definitely be challenging for that kind of individual. Because first of all, yes, like you said, there are challenges in the economy. If you're coming here to be the consumer employee, yeah, it's going to be hard for you. This is the place for visionary and pioneers. This is a place for leaders. This is a place for people that are resilient and visionary. You know what I mean? And only you know what you're capable of. I'm one of those people, which is why I'm surviving here and why I'm thriving here. Hello. What's up, revolutionary? I see you there, family. Yes, yes, yes. Everybody's talking about how Africa is the future. I mean, it's gotten so serious that even white people are making videos reaching out to their friends. I mean, and all the other foreigners are coming. Chinese are coming. Lebanese are here. Europeans are here. You know what I mean? Everybody knows this is the future. The only people that are confused about it are members of the diaspora, of whom this place is their birthright. They should be the first people intrigued and investigating and taking advantage of it. They should be the first people, but unfortunately, they're going to be the last because they've got a lot of psychological hangups about Africa. You know, if this conversation was about Latin America, I bet sizable amount of Black Americans would be flocking to Latin America. If the opportunity was there, they wouldn't have any hangups. The fact that this is the continent of our origin, it's got them so upset and worked up. Because they're not mad at any members of the diaspora that go anywhere. Like, they're only mad when we go to Africa and set up shop. Which is, I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't understand. You guys, that economy question got y'all going. Hello. Big shout outs to the family. Yes, yes, yes. Revolutionary says IOU is not money. It's accepted by the people as a valuable foolery, trickery. Shout outs to the family. Oh, definitely. Definitely. But make sure you're not part of those that's going to miss out. Okay. Are you the American African or are you the Black American? Okay. Which side of the coin are you going to align with? Like I said at the beginning of this broadcast, if you break it down to sentence structure, the noun, there's nouns and then there's adjectives, which is why I've coined the phrase American African. Okay. You grew up there, you're born and raised, but you know that I don't care if you put me, I'm born on top of a mountain or a volcano, I would still be an African. That's how I see it. Even though obviously there's mixing in my heritage and all of that stuff, I still know my origin comes from the continent. So I've just simplified it. And although I grew up in the Western world, it doesn't change the fact that my origins still go back to the homeland. And ironically, for me, going back to the homeland has been my greatest success. Because there's so many elements awaiting me here to help me be who I have always been destined to be. And I'm grateful that I had the courage and the insight to go back to the roots and try to work outwards from there as to questions and, things about my identity, my heritage, lost culture, lost, things like that. Coming here has been great. And honestly, again, if you take a trip to the continent, you have nothing to lose. It has not reduced the fact that I was born and raised in America a bit. I'm still an American. That's still the place I spent the majority of my life. It hasn't deduced anything. It's rather added to me by coming here, and it's undoubtedly the future. Everybody is scrambling to get their footprint happening here on the continent because there's so much prosperity to be had. Shout out to everybody. Yes. All right, family. Well, we doing what we can, babe. We doing what we can. Hello. Well, it's all good. Do what you gotta do. All I'm saying is with your content, okay, if Africa's not the move, I think a lot of them, they have definitely a point to prove. Okay. Because at the end of the day, what we cannot get around is that the Western world is hostile for our people. Okay. And that's a reality a lot of them have to accept. If Africa's not your, cup of tea or not a consideration, they're trying to prove. But the thing is that anywhere you go when you're a minority, I understand the Afro-Latinos have their own racism in the Latin world too. So, if you're okay with dealing with that, I'm just tired of dealing with that. I just want to be in a homogeneous place. So for me, this is the move. But they can do whatever they want to do. My thing is just don't make our way hard. You know, consider that you have neighbors, you have other people of whom your actions are reflecting upon. You know, that's all I'm trying to get at with this message. Shout outs to M Brown Sugar. Oh, they don't want to do them DNA. They say them DNS tests ain't real. They say them DNA tests ain't real, guys. But they believe in paternity tests. Do y'all not know it's from the same family of tests? Hello. Big shout out to the African Superstar family. Intellectual Nerd is in the building. Shout out to you. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Janelle, what we can do is what we're doing. Let me see who sent a super chat. Thank you, Janelle, for your super chat, sweetie. I see you there. Thank you so much. Janelle says, what can we do to expose these fake pro-black leaders pushing these FBA pretendians propaganda? It's so sad how they are leading our people down a dangerous path. We only can do what we're doing, which is, again, drawing the line of demarcation, okay, and renouncing false information. Okay, that's all we can do. You know, when we rise up and we create these platforms, we become a resource for our peers. We become an inspiration, a motivation for them. And in my opinion, you know, that's what I can offer. You know, am I trying to evangelize and change the whole world? No. Okay, I don't even want a huge spotlight because I don't want everybody in my business. And I certainly don't want them perceiving me as a major threat and then trying to assassinate me. I don't want that. Okay, but all we can do, you know, I would say if there were more of us that just tried to operate in these type of capacities, responding to need, you know what I mean? Using what we have, doing what we can on our scales, then that will make an impact. I remember when I don't know if you guys remember I don't even remember when it was last year when they banned Andrew Tate. Okay, they banned Andrew Tate. But the thing was, there were so many platforms that have reposted his content or, you know, posted snippets and all this stuff. Effectively, they could not wipe him from the internet because he was in so many different places at, you know, so many different times. And what I took away from that is, like, if there's so many of us, you know, doing effective things, we can't be silenced. We can't be wiped off the map. But if we have this, like, one messiah figure, we have this one, you know, Pan-African leader, we have this one, you know, orator or whatever, it's very easy to eliminate that person because there's only one. You know, you look at Traore and you see that he's united with, you know, other of his countries, and they're working as a unit to address some of these problems. That's the kind of movement that we have to do. You know what I mean? So I'm coming out here doing what I can in my capacity, and then there's other people that are doing this, other people that are doing that. Here on the continent, different countries are being represented. That's how we tackle some of these things. And obviously, we can't be overwhelmed because we know that the problems are huge and you know, the propaganda is huge, but we can just carve our corner. You know, that's what I think that we can do to try to minister to this nonsense. Big shout outs. What's up? What's up? What's up, family? Janelle's in the building with her super chat. What's up, Portia? Big shout outs. What's up? What's up? Intellectual says Mexico is also anti-black. They don't like to admit it, but when you look, you would know what happens to their black people. I've heard that. I've heard that on several occasions. I mean, I just know that basically anywhere you're a minority, you got to deal with racial stuff. From the Middle East to Europe to Asia. I mean, this is the only place currently, you know, while we are the majorities, we don't have to deal with it over here. And that is such a luxury, you know, not dealing with white people on a daily basis. And the racial construct and racism is like a priceless asset. I mean, this is what the continent offers to us, you know. I mean, To me, that in itself is like huge. But I mean, again, I think a lot of those people have a minority mindset anyway, obviously, because that's the environment they've grown up in. So a lot of them, they racism is not necessarily a big problem to them. It's not an uninhabitable deal breaker like it is for me. You know what I mean? Because I felt like I don't need to be subjected to this. Like, and who do you think you are to do this? And it got to the point like I need to relieve myself of this type of environment. But a lot of other, Black Westerners have just accepted it. I see it a lot in the UK too. It's like they just accepted that, okay, yeah, life is unfair. This is the system. I'm living here, so I just have to take it in. And then our people start excreting their anger and frustration in other unhealthy ways. But as for me, I'm gonna be. I mean, realistically, I don't live that way. But I could live out on the land with a little 1-room shack here in Africa and be cool because I just don't want to deal with that. Have patience, brother. Have patience. Have patience. You gotta have patience. You gotta have patience because some people arrive at the truth at different times. Go taste and see. I see you there. People arrive at the truth at different times, but you must not tolerate falsehood, which is why I'm actually speaking out on this topic today. I don't usually do this kind of thing, but I just need to make it very clear. I don't want to be associated with that kind of stuff because, see, that stuff, again, like I said, is antagonistic. That stuff is negative. That stuff is provocative. There's a time when you have to say, no. I'm not a part of that. That's different than being patient as you educate your people and you interact with your people. You see, this is why, for instance, some of you guys don't understand my relationship with O'Shea. I have patience with O'Shea because I know that he has some issues and misinformation about various topics. However, it's not come to the point where it's like, oh, no. This type of video I saw on TikTok, I absolutely have to speak to this because it's wrong. And it's going to impact my quality of life here on the continent. If there's more of that kind of behavior, it's going to impact us here. And so I'm like, no, I'm tired of suffering for people. Nobody has to suffer because of me. Okay, nobody ever says, oh, the African superstar did this and that, and now I'm paying the price for her foolishness. No. But I don't want to suffer because of it. So I have to just go ahead and denounce it. I just got to denounce it right now. Big shout outs. What's up? TAQ123. What's up, family? Yes. All right. We got to the end of that. Special shout outs to my super chat donors, Miss Susan Gay and Miss Janelle Richardson. Ladies, I really appreciate you guys sending a special tangible token to your girl because, yes, and you guys know that the super chats, they go into the music bucket. Hello. With that being said, have you guys heard my new song, Boom Boom? Huh? I think this is a good opportunity for a commercial break so that you can hear my brand new track, Boom Boom.
Song, Boom Boom. It's a crazy banger. Oh my God. I hope you have that.
One and only
the African superstar.
African superstar on the
You
track.
gotta wanna play it on repeat. Just listen.
International award winning. Yes.
Trust me. When it comes to lyrics,
In the
we don't
midnight
play.
hour, when I get next to you, butterflies in my tummy, and my heart goes boom, boom. In the midnight hour, when I get next to you, feels so exciting, and my heart goes boom, boom. There's nobody like you, you're my one and only. Since the day that we met, I remember, you've been driving me crazy. I love your brown eyes and your chocolate skin. Not ashamed to say it over and over again.
In the midnight hour, when your pretty eyes meet mine, you probably be some mesmerized. You will go down on your knees, say a little prayer for me.
Do y'all like Boom Boom? That song's a banger. That's what I have to say. My song is literally blowing up here in Ghana. Yes. So I really, really, really hope that this is the big one. Hello, the big one. Yes. Y'all better hope it's, I mean, y'all gonna be seeing me probably a little less. Hello. I'm not lying. But I provided a lot of content over the years, so big shout out to the family. You guys can actually hear the full audio here on the channel. The title song is Boom Boom by the African Superstar, and I featured a very talented young man named Kojo Aheneba. So if you're enjoying the song, you can hear the whole song here, as well as all the streaming platforms, except I didn't see it on Apple Music. Apple Music has some kind of different whatever. But I'm on Amazon, Tidal, Spotify, Audio Mac, Boomplay, all the other streaming sites, as well as you can purchase it directly from bandcamp.com. And you can listen to the audio here on YouTube. Okay. And yes, it's also on TikTok as well. So a big shout out to the African Superstar family. Again, guys, thank you for being here. Please take to heart what I said today. Okay. You know, we have to quell a lot of this foolish behavior that some of our peers are displaying, and that ultimately will impact some of us if we do not speak out. Okay. The responses to the ignorant, social medias or whatever ideas, it needs to come from us. Other diasporans need to speak it down and say, no, that does not represent us. No, 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 no. Because I'm telling you, based off of what's already started happening here on the continent, because of some of these individuals, we need to make sure that it's understood that all the diaspora is not the same and all of them do not reflect each other, and make our presence known as the positive, those that are willing to build, those that are willing to bridge, those of us that are open-minded, those of us that love our origins and love the continent and our people and all of that. We must distinguish ourselves. Okay, family? Big shout out to Go Taste and See. I know you like it because I saw your comments on it, baby. So thank you so much. Yes. All right, family. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up now. I'll see you guys again very soon. Until we meet again, stay black and true. If you ain't black, just stay true.